Medical Center near Charlotte reports 0 flu cases for the month of January in 2016. This year, it had 131 cases, and the month isn't over yet. Dr. Araj Persina tells WCNC News.
Cold winter, early start to the season, lack of immunity, and poor vaccine.
Today, World Communications Day. Pope Francis wants fake news to stop. In a statement, the pontiff warned journalists about sensationalism, and CBS's Anna Matranga has more of what the Pope's message said.
In it, he said he wants to contribute to stemming the spread of fake news and to what he calls rediscovering the dignity of journalism and the personal responsibility of journalists to communicate the truth.
A bridge in North Carolina has been named for a judicial pioneer. Ceremonies were held on Tuesday renaming a bridge over Interstate 7374 in Richmond County for Judge Henry E. Fry, who grew up in the county. He was named to the state Supreme Court in 1983 by then-Governor Jim Hunt and served 17 years as the court's first black associate justice, then Chief Justice. The Charlotte City Council has resumed broadcasting the part of its meetings where citizens can speak to council members on any topic. The council had turned off the television cameras last year because of protest. You're listening to NCN News.
Do you want the latest insider news and information for your favorite college sports team? Subscribe now to the ACC Sports Journal magazines. Our ACC Sports Journal magazines are filled with extensive detail on each team for football, basketball, and recruiting. It's a must-buy for every fan of the Tar Heels, Blue Devils, Wolfpack, Demon Deacons, and the rest of the ACC. Subscribe now and save 40% off the cover price. That's a full year's subscription for just $24. Be sure to subscribe now to receive our 2018 ACC Basketball Recruiting Guide. As a subscriber, you'll get your copy before it hits the newsstands. Ordering is fast and easy too. Just go to ACCSports.com right now and click on the big yellow Subscribe Now button. Don't miss out on this offer. Go to ACCSports.com now and click on the Subscribe Now button.
It's not something you usually ask, but there is a report this morning. President Trump got personal with the acting FBI director.
Shortly after Mr. Trump fired FBI Director James Comey, the president sent for acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe and asked him point blank who he'd voted for. When McCabe said he hadn't voted, Mr. Trump then reportedly attacked McCabe's wife for accepting campaign donations from a PAC connected to a friend of Hillary Clinton's during her failed Senate bid. The Washington Post reports the Mueller investigation might take an interest in that exchange. No comment from the White House or the FBI. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
After settling a lawsuit last year, lawyers and staff from Jones County were on hand to talk to people last night who may have questions or concerns about changes to their county commission. They had a meeting to talk about the changes that will be coming during this next election cycle. This Jones County resident tells WITN News.
The only way we can really be more informed is to put the work out and come in here and ask questions and see if we can get a better understanding.
Police are investigating after they say a woman was struck and killed by an SUV on Tuesday night in North Charlotte. Officers have not charged the driver, who they say was not speeding at the time of the collision. Remember those kids who never studied and still aced all their tests? CBS News correspondent Jim Shenefey reports.
Are people born stupid? There's long been the debate about how much education plays into how smart a person is. Now a new study suggests that genetics account for more than half the differences in intelligence between people. Dutch researchers studied genetic data on more than 78,000 people. They found 52 genes linked to intelligence. They also found that not only do the presence of these genes make people more likely to be smart, they're also more likely to be tall, thin, and unlikely to smoke. Jim Shenevy, CBS News.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB Sales Department today at 287-3356. From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A Kentucky town is trying to heal a day after a high school shooting that left 2 students dead and a dozen more injured. ABC's Ryan Burrow is in Benton, Kentucky.
Marshall County High School remains a crime scene Wednesday.
This crime scene will be worked for the next few days.
Meanwhile, police are returning items left behind by students during the chaos, and Kentucky State Police Commissioner Rick Sanders says grief counselors will be on hand.
Dealing with those that are killed, injured, traumatized, I pray for those first responders that had to go and witness this.
Sanders warns they may not have any new information to reveal about the shooting or the gunman on Wednesday. Ryan Burrow, ABC News, Benton, Kentucky.
Special counsel Robert Mueller's team has informed President Trump's lawyers that they want to interview the president as a part of the Russia investigation. ABC News has now confirmed several more key members of the Trump administration have already been interviewed by Mueller's team, including CIA Director Mike Pompeo, Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats, and NSA Director Mike Rogers. President Trump travels to Davos, Switzerland today for the World Economic Forum. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin is already there.
It's going to be terrific. We have a great story to tell, lots of important meetings. We couldn't be happier to be here.
The Trump administration says its message will be America is open for business. The number of flu deaths is surging nationwide. 1,200 people have died from the flu in Texas alone just last week. Texas State Health Commissioner Dr. John Hellerstedt with this new warning.
The flu is a very serious illness, and there's lots of it in Texas right now. So it's important we all take precautions to protect ourselves and our families.
There is an ongoing siege taking place right now at Save the Children, a facility in Afghanistan. An attacker detonated his vehicle full of explosives at the entrance of the office. 3 attackers armed with AK-47s entered inside. 2 people are known to be dead. You're listening to ABC News.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you signed up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare. MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing program that's been around for 25 years, and they have hundreds of thousands of members all across the country. And get this, over the years, MediShare members have shared more than $1 billion of each other's medical bills. Best of all, you could save a lot of money with MediShare. The typical savings for a family is about $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money. Think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have a lot to offer? Well, think again. You can join MediShare anytime, so call them today and check it out. Here's the number to find out more, and there's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
A baby on the way and an historic first in the U.S. Senate. ABC's Lana Zach is at the Capitol.
U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth's office has announced that she is pregnant with her second child. But this baby, expected in late April, will be the nation's first to be born to a sitting senator. The combat veteran and her husband, Brian Bowlesby, have another daughter, Abigail, who was born while Duckworth served in the U.S. House of Representatives. Previously, only 10 sitting members of Congress have given birth in our nation's history, and all were serving in the House, making this announcement an historic first. Lana Zach, ABC News, the Capitol.
Finally, sentencing day for Larry Nassar, the former USA gymnastics doctor accused by nearly 200 young women of sexual abuse and assault. There are flooding concerns for parts of the Northeast hit by winter weather this week. ABC's Gio Benitez.
That powerful winter storm bringing heavy downpours and treacherous driving to the Northeast. A school bus sliding backwards, crashing into a mailbox and then a car. 29 students on board. Luckily, no one hurt. The big thaw causing problems too. Ice jamming up waterways across the region.
Seems like every summer there's a new recommendation about when to put on sunscreen. Here's a new one. Dermatologists say you should do it before flying, especially if you're in a window seat, because those UVA rays can be more dangerous at that elevation and can penetrate the plane windows. This is ABC News.
A good night's sleep starts with the right pillow. That's where MyPillow comes in, and we're excited to announce the MyPillow buy one get one offer is back. Purchase any MyPillow premium bed pillow and get the second bed pillow absolutely free. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the buy one get one free tab, and take advantage of this limited time offer. Use promo code SKY at checkout or call 1-800-635-1825. That's MyPillow.com, click on the buy one get one free tab, use promo code SKY at checkout.
I'm Sherry Preston.
Have you noticed what's going on at Oakland Feed and Seed? Cheapest price in town on propane refills. 20-pound cylinder, $11.99. Forklift cylinder, $17.99. And the 100-pound cylinders, $55.99. Whole corn, $6.99 for the 50-pound bag. 10-10-10 fertilizer, $9.50 for the 50-pound bag. 17-17-17, just $12.50 for the 50-pound bag. Check with Oakland Feed and Seed for all prices. You'll find them the cheapest around. It's a generational thing. Your dad and your dad's dad shopped at Oakland Feed and Seed. Oakland Road, Spindale. Locally owned and operated.
Now that high pressure is building in, it will remain cool for the next few days, not excessively cold, and by Friday and into the weekend, we're expecting a moderating trend. Now, it's a beautiful day today, but not warm like we had yesterday. It's mostly sunny, breezy, and cooler. The high temperature in the low to mid-50s. Tonight, we expect clear skies, colder temperatures. The morning lows on Thursday will be in the upper 20s to low 30s, and then for Thursday, it's a little cooler, the high temperature in the low 50s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
We're all over the board this week with our weather, temperature, as well as other things. Mostly sunny today with highs around 54, with wind gusting to 15 miles per hour, dropping back to 27 tonight, which is colder than we are right now, which is 33. Tomorrow we're back up to 54, back down to 27 tomorrow night. Then on Friday, 57, and back down to 33 Friday night. Now there's a chance of rain and snow mixture on Saturday morning, rain likely Saturday night. And Sunday, rain likely, scattered showers Sunday night. Monday, chance of rain and snow mixture with highs around 50, dropping back to 27 Monday night, back up to 52 on Tuesday of next week. So we're all over the board with our temperature and the other elements that may come. We'll keep our eye on the weather pattern. Anything that comes our way that looks threatening, we'll certainly pass it on to you. Meanwhile, you can always check the weather from our website 24/7. www.wcab59.com. And currently, again, 33 degrees. And today we're being kind to Brian Willett. He's the owner of Willett Automotive, celebrating a birthday today. Now I have these death announcements. Max Lee Tony, age 87, of Harris Henrietta Road, Forest City, died Sunday at his residence. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Thursday at the Henrietta First Baptist Church, with Reverend John Godfrey and Reverend Ricky Baynard officiating. Burial will follow in Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery, with military honors being accorded by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. The family will receive friends from 6 until 8 o'clock this evening at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Max Lee Tony. Francis Miller Grant, age 91, of Henrietta, died Tuesday at the Willow Ridge Rehab and Nursing Center in Rutherfordton. A graveside service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Friday at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery, with Reverend Ernie Cole officiating. Family will receive friends immediately following the service at the graveside. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Francis Miller Grant of Henrietta. Pauline Hazel Frady Sims, age 90, of Rutherfordton, passed away Sunday, January the 21st, at her home. Services will be held 3 p.m. today at Southern Baptist Church in Rutherfordton, with Reverend John Perry and Reverend Bill Abrams officiating. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service, and the burial will be private. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Pauline Hazel Frady Sims. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. You can get the complete information on these and others that may come in this morning, today at 11:35, and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report here on WCAB in Rutherfordton. Middle school students will have a chance to sharpen their skills on the basketball court this winter during a Saturday day camp at Oslo Thermal Community College. The second annual Tom Jaske Memorial Basketball Camp will be held Saturday, February the 10th from 9 a.m. until 3 o'clock at the gymnasium in the Student Center. The camp is for middle school students ages 11 to 15, both boys and girls. A T-shirt will be given to each camper, and a box lunch will be provided by Arby's. Just call 395-1292 for more information. That's 395-1293. Several local high school coaches will teach the various basketball skills at this training, and you should be able to enjoy that for the middle school students. Good opportunity there. We'll be going to the phones here in a few moments to find out what's been happening around the neighborhood in the past 24 hours or so. Let me remind you to get those Valentine cards sent in to us so you can be in the drawing for the Be My Baby Weekend Valentine promotion on the Love Station, WCAB.
Folks, we just don't see this. We do not see the Democrat media and the Democrat Party dumping all over its leaders for blowing it on government shutdowns. The Republicans always take it on the chin on shutdowns. The Republicans always get blamed. The Republicans are prepared to accept the blame. But this time, Chuck Schumer and the Democrats got rolled big time by President Trump. And the Democrats and the media know it, and they are not happy about it. This just doesn't happen. The Democrats are prepared to take the 2018 midterms, and this was going to be an important step, and it's been blown to smithereens. You've got activist groups saying that Chuck U. Schumer failed to lead, failed to keep a Democrat caucus together to fight for progressive values. Other groups issuing a joint statement calling Schumer and other Democrats weak-kneed. So Schumer has made a move. Schumer has announced that there will be no funding for a wall in any future deal, which Trump is demanding, or there won't be a deal. The deal's always been some money for the wall and border security in exchange for limited amnesty for the Dreamers, and Schumer is being beat up so bad he just stepped in it again. This is so delicious, I can't believe we're seeing it.
Hiring is important. People are what make your business work. But how do you find the right talent? ZipRecruiter makes it simple. One click sends your job ad to over 100 of the web's leading job boards. But ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. Their smart matching technology will instantly alert quality candidates about your job. That means you'll start getting great candidates with the right experience almost as soon as your job is posted. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. The right candidates are out there. This is how you find them. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
People from businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Mr. and Mrs. Business Owners, get your better return from your marketing dollars with the Sales and Advertising Department at WCAB. Get triple coverage from AM 590, Northland Cable Channel 5, and the World Wide Web. It works. Call Tracy or Jim. 287-3356.
Be the best Valentine for your Valentine. Send in a card to WCAB and be in the drawing for fabulous prizes, including dinner for two, chauffeured limousine ride to dinner, flowers, jewelry, candy, massages, and much more. Send a Valentine with your name and your sweetheart's name and your phone number. Tell us your favorite love song, and you could be the lucky winner. There'll be several daily drawings with some really nice prizes throughout the week of February the 12th. The preliminary prize winners will still be eligible for the grand prize drawing. The grand prize drawing will be held on Tuesday morning, February the 13th, at around 8:45 on the Morning Show with Jim Bishop. The mailing address is WCAB, Post Office Box 511, Rutherfordton, North Carolina, 28139. Or you can just bring it to us here at 191 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton. Now, it must be in our hands no later than 8 a.m. Tuesday morning. Good luck, and stay tuned to see who is the lucky winner.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide daycare services for an aging parent or loved one. Rutherford Life Care can be just what you're looking for. Rutherford Life Care offers adults a safe and fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. Call them today and let them answer questions you may have. That's 288-1697, 288-1697. Rutherford Life offers a staff of professionals who show the love and compassion that you entrust your loved ones to. That's Rutherford Life Care Services, located on Thunder Road, Spindale. Again, that phone number is 288-1697. Well, we've been bragging on Hutchins Pest Control. They have something to brag about again. They've just been told they've won the best of again. That's 9 years in a row for them. 8 years in a row, I'm sorry. They appreciate your votes, and they're looking forward to serving you this year. Hutchins Pest Control. Honest, dependable, and on-time service. 8 years in a row for them, and they ask you to continue calling on them when you need pest control service. Chad, Charlie, Emily, Tim, they've all made a commitment to serve you in better ways than ever before. You can call on them for that honest, dependable, and on-time service. That's Hutchins Pest Control, 287-5171. Honest, dependable, and on time, and best pest control service 8 years in a row.
John Sutter and John Marshall were partners in a sawmill to provide lumber for the buildings that would comprise an empire Sutter had envisioned called New Switzerland. When John Marshall told Sutter of the gold discovery, his first thought was not of the potential of vast wealth, but of how it would adversely affect New Switzerland. Even though Sutter owned 50,000 acres of land, the mill was on public land. At the time, California was in the process of being transferred from Mexican to U.S. ownership. With no government authority, Sutter and Marshall exchanged clothing and other trinkets with the local Indians for a lease of land surrounding the site. Even though they tried to keep the discovery a secret, in no time the whole world knew about it. As men were panning for gold, Marshall was busy cutting lumber and Sutter was tending his crops. Within a year, both of their businesses failed. Without a clear title, John Marshall was eventually run off the land where the mill was located. John Sutter's 50,000 acres came from 2 Spanish land grants. One was declared void, and squatters took over the other. Eventually, both men tried mining for gold, but they failed. John Sutter died penniless in 1880, and John Marshall did the same in 1885. Although Sutter and Marshall, the discoverers of gold, never saw a profit from the discovery, during the first 25 years following the discovery, over $978 million worth of gold was taken from the area of Sutter's mill. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Thank you very much, Dakota. It's 17 past 7 o'clock. It's Hump Day Wednesday. Let's go to the phones now, find out what's been happening in the past 24 hours or so. And Deputy Walker's on the phone with you now from the Sheriff's Department to give us that update. Good morning. How you doing?
Good, sir. How you doing?
Doing great, thanks. Tell us what's been going on with your department.
The last 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office responded to 160 calls for service, made 8 arrests, and the jail is currently housing 186 individuals. Starting with incident investigation reports, Green Hill Store reported a misdemeanor larceny. Wanda Jones reported misdemeanor larceny. Providence Wireless reported a felony larceny. Samuel Gildler reported assault on a child under 12. Marshall Nanny reported breaking and entering, a motor vehicle, larceny after breaking and entering, larceny of a firearm. And Zay Jones reported breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. Moving to arrest, Patricia Collins was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Kayla Couch, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Amy McCurry, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Ronnie Pearson, arrested for larceny of motor vehicle. Billy Justin Rice, arrested for assault on a child under 12. Chelsea Littlejohn, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Robin Frady, larceny of motor vehicle, possession Schedule 2 controlled substance, and possession drug paraphernalia. James Robert Honeycutt was arrested for unauthorized use of motor vehicle. And that's it, sir.
Deputy Walker, I do appreciate the report, and you'll be safe out there today.
I will, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye. And we'll move to the Communications Center in just a moment. The entire team at Crow's Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you with options available. They will help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved one. During this time, it's important to turn to someone you can trust and depend on. Crow's Mortuary and Crow's Mortuary and Crematory has a long history of trust and dependability. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory. That's 286-2304.
One of the hottest things going on in automobile world today is the fuel-efficient Ford Escape from Sisk Family Ford. You get more value for your money with the Ford Escape, and you'll appreciate the comfort and the value in this remarkable automobile. Try one on for comfort today at Sisk Family Ford, and whenever you need top-of-the-line service on any automobile you own, be sure to bring it to the experts at Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Let's find out about the calls going in the 911 Communications Center, and Candy's here to give us that report. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, doing good.
Good. What's on the report?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center has processed 511 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 59 for EMS, with 22 for rescue. For law enforcement, the Sheriff's Office had 160, Forest City had 81, Rutherford had 27, Lakeville had 5, and Spindle had 48. By fire calls, Cherry Mountain responded to a motor vehicle accident, Forest City to a tree down, and STO to a tree down, and that's all we had.
Thanks so much. Enjoy your day over there.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, one thing about it, when you turn to Southern Carpet, you always know that you're going to get years of experience in trustworthiness. They are fantastic over the years. They've grown their business, started out locally right here. They're still local, grown their business, brought their son into the business to help them. And at Southern Carpet, they understand the traffic of people coming and going, raising children, dogs tracking in mud. That's why they carry floors that stand up to the day-to-day rituals. They carry floors that you'll be proud to have in your home, like Tarkett flooring, for instance. They have the widest range of flooring products that are both beautiful and resilient that you could possibly want to see. And right now you can find out more about these fabulous flooring products at Southern Carpet in Forest City. It gets some excellent pricing right now as the year starts off. So take advantage of this and go by see Southern Carpet at 1512 West Main Street, Forest City, 1512 West Main Street, and you can visit them on the web at southerncarpet.net. Danieltown is our next stop, and here's Ruby Taylor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us what's on the report.
Well, the fire department had one call, and that was to a tree down. And on my birthday calendar, I got Pat Connor, Eddie Tony, and Eli Parton having birthdays, and hope these people have a nice day. And the signs are in the neck today and tomorrow. And, Jim, that's all I've got.
Thanks, Ruby. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Stop into Save-A-Lot Grocery and save big money every day. Choose from a variety of name brand merchandise at incredible low prices. Save big on fresh meats, vegetables, pastries, frozen foods, deli items, and so much more. They are located in the White Oaks Plaza in Spindale. Hours are Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. and Sunday, 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. That's Save-A-Lot Grocery Store in the White Oaks Plaza in Spindale.
Now let's head up toward Rumling Ball this morning and see if we can get a report up there from Steve. Good morning, Steve. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. It's brisky this morning. But
Yes.
It's only 39. At least it's not 19 or 29. Real chilly this morning, but it's not too bad. Could be a lot worse.
What's the wind going to be like when it gets to March?
Wow. I don't know. Better get used to it, right? It's kind of as long as that cold air isn't too severe.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We had an incident yesterday. One of our employees had an acute medical condition, and we have we have several people on our staff who are first aid certified and CPR certified and the like, and we got a lot of medical first responders that work for us, and those guys stepped up to the plate and really made a big difference on his recovery, his initial care and recovery, and we got him airlifted and got admissions, and he's doing very well now, and a lot of that has to do with the quick actions and
Yeah, good. Well, I applaud them for their quick response.
Yes, so yeah, we're very fortunate and very proud of the employees that did what they did to step up to the plate to get, do all the right things. So we're real happy this morning. So, of course, Gary Wilson and Irvin Smith were there front and center yesterday, so I wanted to bring their names up because they were very instrumental in doing what needed to be done in the beginning, stages.
Good.
So I wanted to get that information out there. Big thank you to everybody else. I can't necessarily remember everybody who we might want to thank this morning. There are a lot of people there. So anyway,
Gary's always on the job, isn't he?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, he is. And Irvin's one of our maintenance persons who has joined the fire department a few years ago, and he's a very big part of it. He's a very good resource that we use very often, and he's done a lot of great things.
Good.
Since he's joined the fire department, so I just want to do a shout out to him. So that was our big to-do yesterday. That just, swallowed everything. Everything else is not important.
So the employee is going to be okay.
He's doing very well.
Good.
And they're just going to observe his condition for at least another day or two, and I think he'll be back home.
Good.
So
great.
We're real happy for him. So other than that was pretty much the main thing that occurred yesterday. Not much going on this time of year anyway, but that really took a big part of our day.
Got everybody's attention, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. We're gonna just make sure we continue to train our people as we do, and we might even add some more steps or whatever needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. Good.
To just enhance our first aid and response procedures.
Well, you're doing a good job up there, and keep up the good work, and keep us posted, and we'll check in with you next time.
Okay, Jim. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. That's a Rumbling Ball reporter, Steve, there at the security gate, 27 past 7.
Your car only needs one place to prepare for the cooler months ahead. RS Speedy Lube, Railroad Avenue, Ruth. RS Express Inspection Station can get you back on the road and keep you legal. RS Speedy Lube Station has 2 lanes to get you in and out in no time. They carry wiper blades and will rotate your tires. Complete car care altogether, including transmission flush and car wash. Count on Chris and his team to take care of all your car needs. Make it your first stop. RS Speedy Lube Service Center, Railroad Avenue in Ruth.
Bob Hodges, where we're going next up in Hudlow. You can get a report from that community, that fire district. Bob, good morning.
Well, good hump day morning.
It certainly is.
Middle of the week here already.
Well, this month's about gone.
Yeah, look like it's going to be a nice day today, so look like we'll get some more sunshine there, and everything's a little cooler this morning, but not bad to what we've been used to there.
That's exactly right.
So we'll take this weather anytime there for January anyway.
We just about get accustomed to most any kind of weather anymore, aren't we?
That's right, yeah. But I believe we'll get another snow here yet, so we're not get used to that too good there.
Better not put those snow shovels away just yet.
No, not yet, no. Well, Jim, up there with the fire department's been pretty quiet. We've answered a few medical calls. Hadn't had any fire wreck calls during the night, so that's good. Want to say happy birthday to Garrett Griffin this morning. And, Jim, that's about it. Things are real quiet up here this morning, and maybe it'll stay that way, and hope everybody has a good day today.
Thanks, Bob. Hope you do, too, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, I was over at Gregory's yesterday, had lunch. Faye and I stopped in over and had a salad. And I saw people enjoying several different things from the menu, even some of those wings that they're so popular. And I saw some folks having the baked spaghetti, and other folks are having different things. All of it looked so good, but I was on the salad, and the salad bar, One Trip Salad Bar is a pretty good meal for me. So I enjoyed that. We had a good chance to see some folks that we hadn't seen. Came into the restaurant and yelled at us. And it's always a friendly place to go. I always see folks that I know, and And I always enjoy chatting with folks like that. I ate a little earlier than usual. I usually eat late lunch, and sometimes get to sit over in the corner by myself. But there was a lot of people there. It was a good visit with Gregory's. You'll enjoy your visit, whether you go for dinner or lunch. You can always enjoy making a different choice off of the menu because there's such a variety there. You can eat those grinders, those pasta plates, burgers, one trip salad bar or several trips to the salad bar, how you want to do that. Just enjoy yourself with a good meal. And if you're on a diet this year, you can enjoy that salad bar or something that's not going to bust the diet. But Gregor is always willing and able to help you. And if you have an event coming up, you need an excellent caterer, still Gregory's is the answer. 287-2171, 287-2171. If you're new to the area, Gregory's is located in the Park Lane Plaza there in Rutherfordton. And Sue Price is the next reporter from the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim. It's a nice morning over here, nice and cool.
Yes.
Started at 30 degrees. January's been a cold month.
It's been different, hasn't it?
It has. Been quite different. But anyway, we just go with whatever comes and enjoy it. Enjoy another day. Be thankful to be here another day.
Absolutely.
Let's see. I think I had a wreck call at the fire department. I have no birthdays on my church calendar. On my personal calendar today, I've got birthdays for Amy Jackson and Phil Tony. So happy birthday to those folks. Nothing on Fairviews today and nothing on First Roads for today. So not too many celebrating, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a good day. And in my announcements, let's see, Saturday, January 27th, will be Italian night at the Hopewell Hollis Community Clubhouse. That's 2500 Hollis Road. Menu includes lasagna, spaghetti, salad bar, French bread, and homemade desserts. And the supper is sponsored by the Hopewell Hollis Brewertown Club. So come on out and enjoy a good supper. And so far, that's the only announcements I've had come in. It's just quiet and calm over this way. Looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks very much. So you said Phil Tony of Tony Tours having a birthday today?
Yes.
Well, I'm glad he gets to have another birthday.
I know. Phil's a good one.
Good fella, yeah. Been around a long time.
Yeah.
So you have a good day over there. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. 33 minutes past 7 o'clock. We're being kind to Brian Willett, owner of Willett Automotive over there near Ellenboro.
Here's what our customers think about McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC.
I love my McCurry Deck Buick.
I love my McCurry Deck Chevrolet.
We love our McCurry Deck GMC. We guarantee you'll love McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC for a city.
I am definitely a McCurry Deck customer for life.
I love the price and the McCurry Deck Customer for Life Rewards program. It gives you up to $3,000 or more in rewards.
Take the easy drive to savings. McCurry Deck for a city. Discover the rewards of being a customer for life.
Union Mills reporter Brenda Kelly is on the air, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Brenda, good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this, what is it, Wonderful Wednesday?
Wonderful Hump Day Wednesday.
There you go. Did I hear Bob say that we might get more snow later on?
We might get some more later on, yeah.
We're going to have to wash his mouth out with soap. We don't need no more snow.
Well,
we've had enough.
It's still early in the season yet, so we may.
I know it's early, but we done had, 2 snows? Didn't we have one in December? And then
we did, yeah.
So, that's enough.
The good thing about it is leaving pretty soon after it gets here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, that last one stayed here 2 or 4 days.
2 or 3
4 or 5 days, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, around in the backyard and stuff like that, yeah.
Is that all gone now?
Yeah, as far as I know it is. I hadn't seen any. So that's good. I didn't get out in it, but that one time when I gave the report that morning, we had 1.5 inches. I didn't go back there. I just went out there to the back stoop and checked it there, and it was 1.5 inches. I didn't check it no more. I didn't think it, sick as I was and everything, I needed to be out in that mess, so I didn't go out.
You're right. Are you feeling better now?
Yeah, I'm feeling better. I carried some trash off over to the dumpster yesterday and stopped back by my neighbor. He was sitting on his front porch, and I stopped and visited with him a minute because he was good to come up here and check on me. And when my wood got low, poor little man got home. He filled the porch back up with wood. And
well, that's nice.
And he fed my dogs when I wasn't able to feed them, so I just wanted to stop and thank him for being so good and glad that I have a neighbor like that. But of course, he's my cousin too, but that's all right.
Well, neighbors should do those kind of things.
Yeah, and if we had more people that done things like that, we wouldn't hear of all this crime.
That's exactly right. Right. We spent more time out on the front porch rocking and watching the cars go by. That'd be fun too.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that. I said, well, I guess I better get back up on the hill. He said, well, it's peaceable down here, so there ain't even no cars on the road. I said, well, it's pretty peaceful up on the hill, too. You can't even hear a car.
but I bet you hear a lot of katydids, don't you?
Yeah, you can hear them. Yeah. And the coyotes, when they're carrying on, you can hear them.
What about hoot owls? You ever heard of hoot owls?
Yeah, screech owls. I can hear them. I went out sometimes early in the morning before daylight, and you can hear them hollering at one another or whatever they do. Yeah, you can hear all that stuff up here.
You ever smell any skunks?
Yes, we smell skunks. Them things stink to a high heaven. We got all that stuff, and the rattlesnakes, we got them, and, we... A lot of people need to come up here. They'd sit on the porch. They'd be scared. They wouldn't know what that was.
So you just have your own variety zoo up there, don't you?
That's exactly right. And the deer, we got deer and raccoons and all such as that. Yeah, it's just all kind of stuff to see.
You can make your little money, charge a little admission, let them come up, walk around and see all those animals.
It'd be like Kate's Cove.
There you go.
But anyway, we hope everybody's having a good morning. I've got 26 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays on either one of my calendars. And in ways of announcement, we got a country breakfast buffet Saturday, January the 27th, from 7 to 10 a.m. at the White House Community Center. This is on Painters Gap Road in Union Mills. Adults at $6, children 6 to 12, $3, under 6 free, and they've got all kind of good food on their menu, and all proceeds go to the upkeep of buildings and grounds. You can rent the building for family function, birthday parties, and so on for $50 a day. You can contact Diane Parker at 828-625-4502 if you want to rent the place for any kind of family function. And other than that, I don't have nothing.
All right, Brenda. Well, you keep improving and stay happy up there. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, catch you later.
Bye-bye. The Kelly Report out of Union Mills this morning. Well, you may have, some years ago, purchased a hearing aid that now you wish you hadn't purchased that particular one. Maybe it's getting old. Maybe you got a lot of screeching noise in it. Well, come on by Miracle Ear and talk about something that a little more modern that you won't have all that squeaky noise. That squeaky noise can be aggravating, irritating to you. Why don't you talk about this Miracle Ear Genius 2.0 with Lisa Terry? My, what an instrument that is. Advanced technology, high-def sound quality that adapts to your surroundings automatically. Directional focus that zeroes in on conversations while reducing distracting background noise. It prevents noticeable and embarrassing whistling that can occur in various situations. It's got all of those things going for it. And it's so modern anymore, some of those hearing instruments with Miracle Ears, you hardly even know they're there, but boy, can you hear well. And Lisa would love to answer all your questions. She'll give you that free hearing test. And you'll find her at 1512 West Main Street, Suite 102 in Forest City, or East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Phone number at Forest City is 828-368-4126. Get in step with Miracle Ear this year.
The Recliner Center is happy to introduce new styles of Spring Air mattresses. Some come with the cool gel that you're going to love. Remember the days when you could flip your mattress? Well, Spring Air is now offering the flippable mattress. Check out these for a really great night's sleep. The Recliner Center is needing to make room for some new styles of lift chairs, recliners, and sofas, and you're going to get some special deals on the floor models and extra inventory in the store. Now, you always know you get the best deals in town at the Recliner Center, and now's the best time to go shopping. Check on the inventory of new recliners, sofas, and lift chairs coming in. Now, some of the styles have a new water-repellent fabric. Water beads up instead of soaking into the fabric. Leave it to the Recliner Center to offer you the best choices and best prices. Ask to see the new wall hugger style furniture. Hours are Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 2. The Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Luther Gilligan, Prevailing Number, is on the radio with me right now. It's 7:40. Luther, do you spend a lot of time in your recliner snoozing?
I spend a lot of time where?
In your recliner, snoozing.
In this big old easy chair. I don't spend a whole lot of time in the recliner. I just have a straight back chair.
Yeah.
That I could sit two of them into, so I can curl up in it and go to sleep. I have been able to sleep in it.
Well, you work so hard, you deserve that rest.
In fact, one time, let's see, for a while, I slept in that chair for 8 weeks. I couldn't get to bed.
That was back when you had your ailment?
Shattered shoulder, shattered collarbone.
Mm.
They jumped in the hole deeper than I thought it was.
Oh, my.
It was hanging there by my arms. That didn't work too well.
Yeah. Well, that other condition you had most recently, are you well from that, or you're completely healed?
I am almost in tip-top shape.
Great. It's hard to keep a good man down, isn't it?
I'm lacking a little bit of intelligence, but hey, I always liked that. None as smart as I'm supposed to be. I'm a left person. Everybody keeps saying, boy, you ain't right, so I must be left. But it's a good day down here this morning. It's quiet this morning. Nothing going to see. Fire department had 2 medical calls, 1 public assist, and go help man get up at 12 o'clock last night. Other than that, everything is quiet this morning. Everybody's just getting their gas, their biscuit, and heading on out to work. Just nothing going on, but we always have birthday day. So Jacob Strickland, he's having birthday today, so we hope he has a great day, enjoys his day. And Jim, I said, nothing else going on down here. You have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Luther. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right, take care now.
Bye. That's the Ellenboro Reporter, and that brings us to birthdays and anniversaries for this 24th day of the month. And if you're one of those folks that were born on this date or are married on this date, we need to celebrate. So call it in to us, and all those that call in will be in the drawing for the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's. And that phone number is 287-3356, 287-3356. Todd standing by out there to take your call for birthdays and anniversaries. Are you looking for an internal medicine physician in Rutherford County who has open appointments right now? The great news is that Chase Family Care is welcoming new patients today, led by Dr. Russell Stewart and Greg Goodman. Chase Family Care can work with you to manage chronic disease, to treat illnesses, or to assist in developing a health and wellness plan that meets your needs. They're conveniently located at 1269 Highway 221A near Forest City and Caroline. Trust Chase Family Care to give you personal attention with a small-town friendly touch. Call 828-657-5371 for an appointment. You know, when you need a plumber, you want someone with a reputation of getting right out to you and getting the job done for you the right way. That'll be Olmsted Plumbing. Since 1973, the Olmsted family has been serving homeowners and builders with the best of service. From unclogging a drain to replacing fixtures and appliances to remodeling jobs, their top-quality work, fair prices, and punctual service has made them the area's leading plumbing firm. Eric and Chad are continuing that family tradition, and they'd like to serve you. Call 245-7302. Experience plus equipment equals excellence. Olmsted Plumbing at 245-7302. You know, the drop-in food stores, one of my favorite places, is your hometown convenience store since 1981. And the drop-in is giving back to the community. I like that about them. The drop-in and Major League's Deli with Rutherford County Veterans Services only Platinum Contributor for 2017. And they plan on being a Platinum Contributor again in 2018. The drop-in has also donated over $2,000 to St. Jude's Children's Hospital for the past 3 years. The drop-in, serving delicious food and caring for the heart of the community, too. Come on, drop in and support them. They're supporting us. Farmer's Friend over across the road. Boy, they just continue to grow over there. And they've got just about everything you're looking for, from pet supplies, pet food, to bales of hay, straw, and they got round bales, square and round bales of hay and straw. They got cowlick tubs, 24% protein, 200 pounds, only $49.99. Check on the generic dog food, 40 pounds for $11.99. Propane gas, propane grill tanks, 20 pounds, only $10.99. If I could just talk, that would be a great thing. And they carry Pride dog food as well. That's Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supplies. Right across the road. They open at 7:30 in the morning until 5:30 in the afternoon. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today. Well, they're fresh, they're good, they're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Well, happy birthday to Brian Willett. He's the owner of Willett Automotive. Want to wish him a happy birthday. Also celebrating a birthday today is Chris Lane. He's 51 and works at Celanese Corporation. He lives up in Cane Creek. Well, I'm gonna try if I get this name right. McCadron Pitts, 21, lives over in Spindale. Skylar Murray up in Sunshine, a senior at East High School. Tiffany Sisk is 26, over in Spindale. Darren Harris is 13 tomorrow, lives up in Sunshine. Austin Charles, 16, a student at Chase. Sonny Hawkins, Ginger Dancy's having a birthday. First Lady of Rutherford. Terry and Karen Willard, 47, of Forest City. Randy Engel is 60 today, lives over in Forest City. And Terry Byers also celebrating today. So happy birthday to all these fine folks. And we'll see who's going to win the donuts in just a moment. Henry Lynch is also celebrating a birthday today.
The story is told of a little country boy who wore a thin, ragged coat and worn-out shoes. One bitterly cold morning, he was struggling through deep snow on his way to school. Several large youths who walked nearby began taunting him. "You call yourself a Christian. Well then, why doesn't your God tell someone to give you a warm coat and some boots?" The lad replied, "I think he has, but no one is listening." Our care of the needy is of great concern to God. Jesus talked often of feeding the hungry and clothing the poor. The Apostle John even challenged a person's commitment to God if that person had the means to help a needy person, but refused to do it. Jesus didn't teach indiscriminate welfare, but he did teach love and compassion for those who are not able to help themselves. He never wanted us to just live for ourselves, but for others and for him. The needy others are never to be out of our minds, even if we are able to keep them out of our sight. When Jesus said we would always have the poor with us, he intended that we would do what we can to help meet their needs. Is God speaking to one of you about providing some needed hats, coats, boots, or shoes? Are you listening? You may be just the angel in disguise that God wants to use to meet the need of someone else. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
We also want to wish Garrett Griffin happy birthday. Works for the town of Forest City. Got in too late for the drawing, I'm afraid, but we do want to give him a shout out and wish him a happy birthday. And big congratulations are going out to Skylar Murray of Sunshine. Skylar is a senior at East High School, so we want to wish Skylar a happy birthday. And Skylar has just won the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's. Well, coming up next hour, we got some things to talk about. First, a few minutes of the hour, and then at 8:30, of course, then you can hear again the Word of Faith Fellowship as they face the facts and give their side of the story. That's 8:30 this morning live here in the Blue Room at WCAB. Don't miss that.
You got the magic touch. It makes me glow so much. It casts a spell. It rings a bell. The magic touch. Oh, when I feel your charm, it's like a full alarm. You make me thrill so much. You've got the magic touch. Here I go. Know too much, and then I felt your touch, and now I've learned I can return the magic touch. Here I go. Know too much, and then I felt your touch, and now I've learned I can return the magic touch. Heavenly shades of night are falling. It's the twilight time. Out of the mist your voice is calling. 'Tis twilight time. When purple-colored curtains mark me in the day, I'll hear you, my dear, at twilight time. Deepening shadows gather splendor as day is done. Fingers of night will soon surrender the setting sun. I count the moments, darling, till you're here with me. Together at last at twilight time. In the afterglow of day, we keep our rendezvous. The blue. In the sweet and same old way, I fall in love again as I did then. Deep in the dark, your kiss will thrill me like days of old, lighting the spark of love that fills me with truths untold. Each day I pray for evening just to be with you, together at last at twilight time. In the afterglow of day, we keep our rendezvous beneath the blue. Yeah. same old way.
NCN News. I'm Mike Riley. The Justice Department has confirmed that Attorney General Jeff Sessions was interviewed last week by the Special Counsel's Office. CBS News Chief White House Correspondent Major Garrett tells us there's still a possibility Robert Mueller will question President Trump.
Mueller and the president's attorneys continue to negotiate over how and when Mr. Trump will be interviewed by Robert Mueller. The White House lawyer Ty Cobb told us President Trump is, quote, very eager to be interviewed by Mueller, and that such an encounter will likely occur in the coming weeks.
The uncertain fate of so-called dreamers continues to be a hot topic in Washington. On Tuesday, some of those dreamers and their advocates were back pounding the pavement outside of Senator Tom Tillis's office in Raleigh. Maria Gonzalez lives in Raleigh and tells ABC 11 she could learn her fate in mid-September.
Will I go back to a country where I'm not that great at the language, where I don't know everything, where I don't really have family? I have a grandmother, but that's about it, and I don't have a home there. And
you don't have a home there, but it could be your reality.
It's starting life all over again.
2 people were killed and more than a dozen others injured when a 15-year-old student opened fire at a rural Kentucky high school yesterday morning. Adriana Diaz is in Benton, Kentucky, as authorities continue to search for a motive.
There are still 5 patients at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. All are expected to survive. The suspect will be charged with 2 counts of murder and multiple counts of attempted murder. The county attorney says those charges should come within the next 48 hours and that he plans to try the teen as an adult.
Police are investigating after they say a woman was struck and killed by an SUV last night in North Charlotte. Officers have not charged the driver, who they say was not speeding at the time of the collision. A bridge in North Carolina has been named for a judicial pioneer. Ceremonies were held Tuesday in Richmond County, naming a bridge over Interstate 7374 for Judge Henry E. Fry, who grew up in the county. You're listening to NCN News.
Honey, have you gone on to ncjobsnow.com to look for a new job today?
Thanks, hon, but I don't want to go to a site for government-only jobs.
ncjobsnow.com is not a governmental job site. It's a site for exclusive North Carolina-only jobs. They have great job postings.
You're right. I just logged on, and they have great local jobs. I'm posting my resume now.
NC Jobs Now is not a government-only job site. It's a site with fantastic jobs in North Carolina. Go to ncjobsnow.com today. A great job is waiting just for you.
A Democrat in the governor's mansion, an unconventional Republican in the White House, new state, House, and Senate election maps, all important factors for politics and public policy in North Carolina. What does it all mean? Carolina Journal has the answers. Available each month as a free newspaper, every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
Scantily clad hostesses hired to entertain figures from business and politics at a secretive men's-only charity fundraising gala in London were groped, propositioned, and sexually harassed. Not in 1950, last week, as revealed by the Financial Times newspaper. Jess Phillips is a British lawmaker. She says she's horrified and tired.
I'm tired of having to continually say it's 2018, and it's totally unacceptable that women should be hired in as a herd to entertain a group of entitled rich men.
One person was killed following a crash between a motorcycle and a sedan last night in Raleigh. David Wayne Dunn was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the sedan was not injured. No charges have been filed. The Greenville Police Department reported this week the arrest of Officer Ryan Kurtz. Greenville police say they received information Kurtz reportedly assaulted a woman he knew, resulting in visible injuries. Lieutenant Kip Gaskins is with the Pitt County Sheriff's Department and tells WNCT News.
Domestic violence can happen in any profession. It can happen to anyone. We are sworn to uphold the law regardless of who that individual is. So we did our job, and we go where the facts led us, and the facts led us to make the arrest.
Officials in Philadelphia have decided to help opioid addicts get high to prevent them from overdosing. Over to CBS's Vicki Barker.
The city's seeking to become the nation's first to allow legal drug injection sites with medical personnel on hand to treat any overdoses.
We have an obligation to do everything we can to prevent those people from dying.
Philadelphia Health Commissioner Thomas Farley calls it just part of an overall plan to fight the opioid epidemic. Philadelphia has the highest overdose death rate of any large U.S. city, with 1,200 lives lost last year alone. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB Sales Department today at 287-3356.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A community in shock following another deadly school shooting, this one in western Kentucky, where a teenager opened fire on Tuesday. ABC's Ryan Burrow is there.
Across Marshall County, dozens of vigils, prayer services, and community gatherings as the community tries to cope with news that 2 15-year-olds are dead, 18 others hurt in a mass school shooting.
You just don't think that it's going to come to your Mayberry-type community.
It still affects you when it's young people.
Kentucky State Police say all the victims range in age from 14 to 18. The gunman, a 15-year-old who was armed with a pistol, is now in police custody and will likely face multiple murder and attempted murder charges. Ryan Burrow, ABC News, Benton, Kentucky.
In the midst of the worst influenza outbreak in years, health officials are stepping up efforts to get people vaccinated, especially in hard-hit areas like Texas.
In the last week, more than 1,100 people here in Texas have died from the flu or flu-related complications. That's like crashing 3 fully loaded Boeing 767s into the ground. The state's chief health official, Dr. John Hellerstedt, is urging everyone to get vaccinated.
And if you do get sick, stay home until you're well, so you don't spread your germs.
With last week's surge in fatalities, 2,355 Texans have succumbed to the flu this season. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
America is open for business. That's the message President Trump's taking to Davos, Switzerland for the World Economic Forum. He leaves today. Back home, more key members of the Trump team have been interviewed by Special Counsel Robert Mueller.
ABC News has confirmed that CIA Director Mike Pompeo, Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates, and the Director of the National Security Agency Mike Rogers all had interviews last year with Mueller's team. This comes after the news that Attorney General Jeff Sessions met for several hours last week with investigators who are looking into potential collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Dow futures up 94 points. You're listening to ABC News.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill, staying in one place and never getting ahead with those minimum payments? You feel like there's no way out? Don't let the credit card companies bully you anymore. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. The program at Total Financial Freedom can help you get debt-free in months instead of decades. Get off the debt treadmill and stop the harassment. Get free of credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and medical bills. Call now at 866-844-7344 for free information. For about 10 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, too. Get off the endless cycle without having to declare bankruptcy. You'll have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Call Total Financial now at 866-844-7344. That's 866-844-7344.
The California parents accused of holding their 13 children captive with chains have a court hearing later today. ABC's Alex Stone is in Los Angeles with the latest.
The issue at hand today: should David and Louise Turpin be allowed to contact their children from jail through letters or phone calls? Prosecutors are asking the judge to bar any kind of contact they can have with their children, either directly or through a third party. The siblings have been in hospitals being treated for malnutrition. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
An extremist attack at a charity. The charity Save the Children in Afghanistan. At least 2 have been killed. Here's ABC's Tom Rivers at the foreign desk.
The attack targeted a group that helps those deeply in need in Jalalabad. Among the insurgents, a suicide bomber and 2 others with guns. The head of the Red Cross in Afghanistan says such an attack against an organization that helps children is outrageous. Increasing violence there, she adds, is making operating in the country difficult for many outfits. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
There are urgent new concerns this morning about a water crisis in one of the world's major cities because of the worst drought in a century. Maybe you've heard of this before. Cape Town, South Africa, now expected to run out of water on April 12th, unless people start cutting back. Right now, homeowners are limited to using just 13 gallons of water per day. This is ABC News.
With the stock market at all-time highs, cash in your profits now and invest in an asset that can potentially pay for up to 20 or more years. That's the sound of a producing oil well and the sound of a smart investment. If you're an SEC-defined accredited investor, you can take advantage of Encore Energy's projects. Call now to learn how you can potentially achieve 20 or more years of income and deduct 100% of every dollar invested against all forms of income. Call 1-800-803-8511. That's 1-800-803-8511. Oil investments involve a high degree of risk and actual results may vary.
I'm Sherry Preston.
You're really missing out if you haven't tried the delicious food at Jesse James Railroad Express. Check out the burgers, clubs, hot dogs, fresh salads, taco salads, chicken and tuna salad plates, and of course, delicious Davis donuts and hand-dipped ice cream. They offer a terrific breakfast with made-to-order fresh just for you. They're open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. Call out orders at 447-4644. Jesse James Railroad Express, Railroad Avenue, Rutherford. Railroad Express has received an award for the best coffee shop and the best hamburgers and hot dogs. And mention this ad and get a regular hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions, only 99 cents, Mondays only.
Now that high pressure is building in, it will remain cool for the next few days, not excessively cold, and by Friday and into the weekend, we're expecting a moderating trend. Now, it's a beautiful day today, but not warm like we had yesterday. It's mostly sunny, breezy, and cooler. The high temperature in the low to mid-50s. Tonight, we expect clear skies, colder temperatures. The morning lows on Thursday will be in the upper 20s to low 30s, and then for Thursday, it's a little cooler, the high temperature in the low 50s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
This weather looks brought to you by Jesse James Railroad Express, and we're looking at 32 degrees right now, just right about the freezing mark. But we'll be climbing here pretty soon up to 54 for a daytime high. But the wind's going to be a factor, gusting to about 50 miles per hour. And dropping back tonight to 27 for the overnight low with a wind gust to 50 miles per hour. So that makes it going to feel like it's almost zero tonight when that wind starts blowing. But we have sunny skies for the next few days. There is a chance of rain coming on Saturday and Sunday with a little possibility of a mixture there with some rain and possibly some snow mixture depending on the temperature at the point of rain. And we'll keep watching that weather pattern for you. Right now, though, 32 degrees and a great getting up morning here in the foothills on this hump day Wednesday morning, the 24th day of January. 7 minutes after 8 o'clock. Again, let me congratulate Skylar Murray of Sunshine. Skylar is a senior at East High School. He won the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's a moment ago. Congratulations to Skylar. And we're being kind to Brian Willett. Brian is the owner of Willett Automotive. And he's the newest member of the WCAB Be Kind 2 Hall of Fame. I'm looking up on the Be Kind 2 wall. It looks like Saturday and Monday and Wednesday of next week we have open dates for the Be Kind 2. So if you know somebody celebrating a birthday or anniversary on those dates, we'll be glad to recognize them and put them in the Hall of Fame. Have news from here and there coming up and some comments. 8:30 this morning, the bottom of the hour, the Word of Faith continues to speak out and share their side of the story. You've been hearing from the national accusers. Now you can hear from those being accused. No one is reporting their side of the story. Now you can hear it firsthand every morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30. You can hear members of the Word of Faith Fellowship tell their side of the story. Ongoing series right here on WCAB. Now we'll have this and the Sheriff's Report coming up in just a few.
Here are some simple instructions on how to get a tax pro to prepare and file your 1040EZ completely free. Go to an H&R Block office or make an appointment at hrblock.com.
Return must be filed January 5th, 2018 to February 28th, 2018 at participating offices. Additional fees apply for EITC and other additional forms for state and local returns and if you select other products and services. OPTP number B13696.
If you have tax questions, we have answers. Visit the H&R Block in Rutherford County today.
I know what I want from my energy company. I want to know that my power is always on and that my energy is cleaner, safer, and affordable. That's why as a Duke Energy lineman, I'm working hard to make that possible. I feel honored to serve our community. It's a good feeling knowing that I'm helping to build a smarter, reliable energy future for all of us, for my family and for yours.
Paid for by Duke Energy shareholders.
Now let's look at some stories from here and there this morning and some comments. These are stories being sent out by other sources of news. Channel 7 News in Spartanburg is telling us a second granddaughter has been charged in the death of a retired South Carolina minister. Local media report that 23-year-old Nicole Kristen Tuning has been arrested and charged with abuse or neglect of a vulnerable adult resulting in death. The Reverend James Boyd Tuning died last year in Saluda County. The state law enforcement division said the 79-year-old man lived with 51-year-old Donald Ralph Tuning and 48-year-old Kathy Lane Tuning. The couple also faced the same charge in the retired minister's death. Another daughter, 26-year-old Amber Nicole Trent, was arrested earlier on the abuse charge. A police statement said James Tuning was beaten, restrained in his bed, and rags and duct tape was used to cover his mouth and eyes. It wasn't known if Nicole Tuning has an attorney or not, but the Associated Press Channel 7 reported that story. Meanwhile, up in McDowell County, Marion, a North Carolina man is under arrest after deputies say a bag filled of methamphetamine fell out of his pants when he was being served papers. Now, how smart is that? Robert Hezekiah Patton, 29, is charged with possession of methamphetamine by McDowell County Sheriff's Office. A detective says authorities went to Patton's home in Marion to serve him with civil papers, and we're told while that was happening, a baggie fell out of his pants. Police say the bag contained 1.9 grams of methamphetamine. I didn't do it, officer. I didn't do it. What's that fell out of your pants there, fella? Congratulations to some folks in our fine sheriff's department. January 23rd, Rutherford County Sheriff Chris Francis congratulated Corporal Robert Owens, Detective Brandon Ellenberg, and Detective Julie Green for receiving their Advanced Professional Certificate awarded by the North Carolina Sheriff's Education and Training Standards Commission. The APC is the highest level of professional certification issued by the SETSC to deputy sheriffs and is awarded to deputies who have completed the required years of service, professional training, and continued education. Again, congratulations to Corporal Robert Owens, Detective Brandon Ellenberg, and Detective Julie Green for receiving these awards. Many of you know the name Carly Arrowwood. She has performed here many times and now exclusively is with Brooke and Darren Aldridge, and is seen pictured on the papers playing at the Grand Ole Opry. She's the recipient of the 2017 Instrumental of the Year Momentum Award. Is ready to get back on the road from Union Mills. Carly Arrowwood, 21, talked about her eventful year in 2017 as the fiddle players with Bluegrass Award winners Brooke and Darren Aldridge of Cherryville. The band played last week in Mount Airy for the first time, first gig in 2018, and they've been playing some on the Grand Ole Opry. So congratulations to our Rutherford County's own Carly Arrowwood. Looks like some of the basketball players will have an opportunity to advance their skills. Middle school students will have a chance to sharpen their skills on the basketball court this winter during a Saturday day camp at Isothermal Community College. The second annual Tom Jaske Memorial Basketball Camp will be held Saturday, February the 10th from 9 a.m. until 3 o'clock at the Isothermal Gymnasium in the Student Center. The camp is for middle school students ages 11 to 15, both boys and girls. A T-shirt will be given to each camper, and a box lunch will be provided by Arby's. There is no charge to attend the camp, but space is limited. To reserve a spot, send the student's name, parent or guardian's name, address, and telephone number to Dee Barnard at Isothermal at 395-1292 or to Dee Barnard at isothermal.edu. 13 minutes after 8 o'clock, the Sheriff's Report coming up in just a moment with Deputy Walker reporting. But I thought this was a great story, a hero-type story. It shows, as we've talked about on this show many times, how it's important that we get involved and keep our eyes open. But this wasn't overseas. This wasn't a third world country. This happened right here in our backyards, on our own homeland, on this girl's vacation. And it's happening this very second, right where you're at. It serves as a reminder for each of us to stop and take notice of things around us. Be aware of red flags and educate yourself how to identify possible victims of human trafficking. Not encouraging you to be a busybody or nosybody, but just pay attention to what's going on. This truck driver in Virginia is being held a hero after he blew the whistle on a morbid situation that received a wide attention. It rescued a starved and battered 20-year-old sex slave at a gas station. Kevin Kimmel was parked at a Pilot gas station outside of Richmond, Virginia, when he noticed an RV parked with black drapes covering the windows. Kevin told WTVR, I saw what looked like a young girl looking out the window. The black drapes didn't make it look like a family's RV, you know. He said he watched as a guy walked over to the RV, knocked on the door, then went inside the gas station. It wasn't long before he returned to the camper, knocked on the door again, and entered the vehicle. All of a sudden, the thing was rocking and rolling. Kevin has daughters and granddaughters. He said it didn't take but just a second glance to connect the dots. The truck driver quickly dialed 911 and alerted authorities, which led to a full-fledged FBI investigation of an Iowa couple, 36-year-old Elder Hassa and 31-year-old Laura Sorensen. It was only in the news reports that followed when Kevin learned of the gruesome condition the 20-year-old girl had endured. The woman had been captured nearly 2 months prior to the gas station rescue and forced into prostitution during a trip from Iowa to Virginia. Sorensen and Hadza allegedly burned the woman with keys and heated on the stove and drove nails through her feet with a hammer. Officers found pictures of the victim showing she had been starved, tortured, and forced to repeatedly participate in vulgar sexual acts. Other pictures showed someone spraying Clorox bleach into an open wound. The woman added that her abductors threatened to kill her family if she spoke out. That's how they hold them. So they hold these young people. They threaten to kill their parents if they put the word out they've been anything's wrong. Kevin's bold decision as truck driver to act on the bad vibe he got from the RV led to the freeing of a victim of human trafficking in Richmond, Virginia. This wasn't overseas. This wasn't in a third world country. This happened right here in our own backyards, in our own homeland, on this girl's vacation. It is happening this very second right where you're at. It serves as a reminder to each of us to stop and take notice of the things around us. It's happening all over the place. Be aware of red flags and educate yourself on how to identify possible victims of human trafficking. Folks, you would not realize how heavily this country is involved in that, how many children and young women are caught up into this. As for Kevin, the truck driver, he just says he's happy he was able to help this innocent woman, and he was indeed is a hero for stepping forward and making something like that happen. 17 past 8. The Sheriff's Report coming up here in just a moment.
Hello, this is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. Are you on disability? Or maybe you're on Medicare? Or maybe both? Come see me, Dwayne Hunt at Insurance Service Associates, about a Medicare Advantage product brought to you by Humana. Please give me a call, 245-5301 at Insurance Service Associates, 127 East Trade Street, Forest City.
You do a lot. At Northland, we do internet. You do sports. We do internet that makes games easy to stream. You do movies. We do internet that gives you a world of choices. You do family. We do internet that sounds like the real thing. And now you can get speeds up to 100 megs with internet packages starting at $29.99 a month. Call 888-NORTHLAND or visit getnorthland.com today. All rates and tax and fees not available in all areas. Additional restrictions and conditions apply. Actual speeds may vary. See getnorthland.com/offers for full details.
More than 1 million Americans have heart attacks each year. And if you or a loved one experiences symptoms of a heart attack, every second matters. That's why the emergency department at Rutherford Regional Health System is a chest pain accredited facility. What does that mean to you? It means quality care here at home that could save precious seconds when treating the symptoms of heart attacks. To learn more about Rutherford Regional and its commitment to safe quality care, visit myrutherfordregional.com.
This is Pam with the Home Medical Department at Smith's Drugs of Forest City. We carry several products for CPAP therapy that includes wipes, distilled gallons of water, a CPAP hose cleaning tool, a CPAP pillow, and of course the regular supplies of masks, filters, and other maintenance products. Come in or call us for any of your CPAP needs. Thank you and have a happy new year from all of us at Smith's Drugs of Forest City, 139 East Main Street, 245-4591.
Thank you very much, Pam. It's 19 past 8 o'clock. And now here is Deputy Walker. He's with the Sheriff's Department. He gave us a report earlier this morning. We recorded it for broadcast at this time. Deputy Walker.
In the last 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office responded to 160 calls for service.
made 8 arrests, and the jail is currently housing 186 individuals. Starting with incident investigation reports, Green Hill Store reported a misdemeanor larceny. Wanda Jones reported misdemeanor larceny. Providence Wireless reported a felony larceny. Samuel Gildler reported assault on a child under 12. Marshall Nanny reported breaking and entering a motor vehicle, larceny after breaking and entering, larceny of a firearm. And Zay Jones reported breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. Moving to arrest, Patricia Collins was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Kayla Couch, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Amy McCurry, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Ronnie Pearson, arrested for larceny of motor vehicle. Billy Justin Rice, arrested for assault on a child under 12. Chelsea Littlejohn, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Robin Frady, larceny of motor vehicle, possession Schedule 2 controlled substance, and possession drug paraphernalia. James Robert Honeycutt was arrested for unauthorized use of motor vehicle, and that's it, sir.
Hello, this is Brian King. I've been practicing law here for the past 20 years in Rutherford County, and right now I've noticed many clients coming in with the same issue. The state of North Carolina is taking many of our properties to reroute roads all across our area. This allows for the state of North Carolina to put in new roads, but it takes property away from our homeowners. When this happens to you, you need an attorney, and King Law Offices is there for you. We look forward to meeting with you. Call us anytime, 828-286-3332. See you soon.
Thank you very much, Brian. Hey, Rutherford County Extension and Community Association announces its 2018 scholarships, and high school seniors, full-time college students, and adults wanting to attend college are eligible. North Carolina residents planning to attend a North Carolina accredited college, community college, or technical institute in the fall of 2018 may apply for this. Applications are available at all high schools and at Cooperative Extension on Callahan Coon Road, Spindale. The North Carolina ECA scholarship deadline is February the 1st, and the Rutherford County ECA scholarship deadline is April 1st. For more information, contact Cooperative Extension at 287-6010, 287-6010. Tomorrow, of course, in the Blue Room at 8:35, Dr. Bob will be here. Coming up on Monday, we've scheduled an interview, or working on scheduling an interview for Eddie Jolly. You know, he's written a book, and a lot of people know him. He'll be here with us Monday morning to talk about that, about 8:10, and we'll have that information for you later on as we finalize everything for that. Meanwhile, stand by for an update on sports, and Word of Faith Fellowship speaks out at 8:30.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Number 4 Duke matched a season high by forcing 21 turnovers and turning them into 34 points in an 84-70 win over Wake Forest in Winston-Salem. Mike Krzyzewski after the game talked about the play of Wendell Carter Jr., who led the Blue Devils with 23 points and 12 rebounds.
He's been one of the better players in the league and in the country. So improvement means that he's gotten real good. He's going to play basketball for a long time and be a really good player. And because he can shoot, he can handle, he's smart, and he's 6'10", 245. Other than that, he stinks. Yeah, he's just, someone will say that I said he stunk, right? And his parents will call me.
Other North Carolina programs in play on Tuesday. Campbell, winners over Liberty, 94-85, while Davidson was dumped by Dayton in Ohio, 65-64. On the pro court, LeBron James became the NBA's 7th player to reach 30,000 career points. He achieved the milestone when he hit a jumper with 1 second to go in the first quarter of the Cavs' eventual loss to the Spurs in San Antonio, 114-102.
It's something I never set out to do. I'm not even like a score-first guy when it comes to playing basketball. I love getting my teammates involved and seeing my teammates be excited about scoring and me getting assists and things of that nature.
At 33 years old, James became the youngest player to join the 30,000 club. He's in the fraternity with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, and Dirk Nowitzki. On the ice, Dominic Simone and Jean-Sebastien Day scored 76 seconds apart, and the Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Hurricanes last night 3-1. As per usual, Canes head coach Bill Peters found the positives in the loss.
We could have defended differently, right? I wasn't disappointed with the overall effort and some of the execution. Could have been a little cleaner with the puck, executed at a little bit higher level, but again, there were some good looks.
Pittsburgh's won 6 of their last 8. Carolina trending in the other direction, having lost 5 of their last 8, including 2 in a row. This is NCN Sports.
At AT&T, we believe that access to affordable home internet brings you incredible opportunities. You can enjoy the power to explore a digital world of possibilities and connect with family, friends, and the things that matter most. That's why there's access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, no deposit, no installation fee. Plus, get an in-home Wi-Fi gateway at no extra cost. Call 1-855-220-5211 or visit att.com/aware to learn more.
SNAP refers to the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Pricing excludes tax. Service will include a monthly data allowance depending on the type and speed of service you receive. If you exceed your monthly data plan allowance, you will be automatically charged $10 for each 50 gigabytes of data usage in excess of your data plan, even if less than 50 gigabytes is used. For details about data allowances, go to att.com/internet-usage. Wi-Fi enabled device required. Other restrictions apply.
Panthers' new offensive coordinator, Norv Turner, says he doesn't want to restrict Cam Newton's ability to make plays with his feet. As for his throwing motion, that might need a little tweaking. The 65-year-old said Tuesday he returned to coaching because of an opportunity to work again with Ron Rivera and to coach Newton. A Michigan doctor faces at least 25 years in prison when he's sentenced today for molesting Olympic gymnasts and other young female athletes who had gone to him to help with their sports injuries. Larry Nassar pleaded guilty to assaulting 7 people, but more than 150 have spoken out in court accusing him during his sentencing hearing. He's already been sentenced to 60 years in federal prison for child porn crimes. Top-seeded Simona Halep recovered from an early service break and won 9 straight games en route to a 6-3, 6-2 victory over number 6-seeded Carolina Pliskova to reach the Australian Open semifinals for the first time. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Now that high pressure is building in, it will remain cool for the next few days, not excessively cold, and by Friday and into the weekend, we are expecting a moderating trend. Now, it's a beautiful day today, but not warm like we had yesterday. It's mostly sunny, breezy, and cooler. The high temperature in the low to mid-50s. Tonight, we expect clear skies, colder temperatures. The morning lows on Thursday will be in the upper 20s to low 30s, and then for Thursday, it's a little cooler, the high temperature in the low 50s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
We have jumped back up out of the freezer locker this morning. Now we're at 34 degrees. We started out at 35, dropped to 33, then to 32, now back up to 34. But we're climbing up to 54 for a daytime high and mostly sunny skies. But we have to deal with that wind today. Wind gusts to 15 miles per hour. And tonight, wind gusts to 50 miles per hour. But the temperature will be about 27 tonight. So wrap up, bundle up real good. Right now, again, it's 34 degrees. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
Good morning, and welcome again to Word of Faith Responds and Speaks Out. It is so good to be with you this morning. We have so enjoyed doing these programs, and we have been still receiving a lot of great feedback from you listeners. We have some listeners that have said that they are tuning into us every program, and that really means a lot. We want to say a special thank you to all of you who have been listening to these programs, and if you're tuning in for the first time, we want to welcome you as well. We are telling you the truth about the Word of Faith Fellowship. You've heard possibly a lot of false accusations in the media about our church, and now you are actually getting to hear the truth straight from the source, Word of Faith Fellowship members. And so we have for several weeks been telling you the truth. We've been addressing a lot of the false accusations that have been in the media. And at the same time, we've wanted you to know about who we really are. And so we've had people on the program who are sharing their testimony of how God has really transformed their life. And, you know, we serve such a wonderful God. One thing that we see is that God loves us so much, and anything that's not right in our lives, God can absolutely transform us. Today, I have two people with me here whose lives have been completely transformed. I have Douglas McDonald and DeWitt Prince. These are some very good friends of mine, and you are going to hear powerful testimonies today about the miracles that these men have seen in their lives. God has really, really changed their lives so much. Douglas is an associate pastor at our church. He is in charge of the prison ministry and the hospital ministry along with DeWitt. And he's been at our church a long time. And Douglas is going to share with you about the things that God has done in his life. Go ahead, Douglas.
Thank you, Mark. It's good to be here with you this morning. And excuse me, good to be with all you people out there that are listening this morning. I was born in 1947 in Warren, Pennsylvania, and to tell you right off the bat, my father did not accept me, and that was part of the struggle that I've had growing up. At the age of about 8 years old, my father moved to Canada. We all moved to Canada, and my father went to school and became an Episcopal priest. But he had a bad drinking problem, and that problem it continued. I ended up going to church all of my life, learning about Jesus, but I never knew him, and that was my other problem. And we moved back to the United States. My dad had several churches, and I grew up wanting all my life secretly. People didn't know this, but I wanted to be a drummer. And in 1964, my life changed when the European people came with all their music, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and I said, that's it, that's what I'm going to be. And up until then, I basically didn't have a father. My father was home, but he wasn't there, and I was left on my own. So I got into all these things in the world. I started playing in the band when I was a senior in high school. Started to travel, and my life was full of drugs and alcohol, and I was a very troubled man. And I got to a place where I didn't know what to do. And then I got drafted. I went to Vietnam. I had my first experience in Vietnam with heroin. So nothing got better. Everything kept getting worse. I came back home. I was traveling again in the band. And one day, I got a phone call. And it was from a friend of mine in Oklahoma that was going to a Bible school. And they were at a prayer meeting. And there was going to be a prayer seminar in Oklahoma, there in Tulsa, and they said, you need to be here. Well, I went, and I stayed, and I've never been the same since. And but before that happened, I had an unusual experience. I was down in New Orleans, and I went to a church that my mother told me about. My mother was a praying mother. She kept praying for me and praying for me. And she said, I know a place you can go. So I went to this church that one Sunday, and I sat down in the church, and they were going to Sunday school, so I got back up and went to the Sunday school, and a man got up in that class, and he said, somebody in here has seen a great light, but there's a dark cloud over you, and if you don't come out from under the cloud, the light will leave you forever. And I didn't think much about it at the time. I went back into the sanctuary, sat down in the middle of the sanctuary, about 1,200 people, and this fellow said to me, he said, you'll never be the same after today. And I thought, well, I've heard that before. I went through the service, and they had an altar call. And after at that altar call, I said, I need to go to the front. So I went to the front, and the pastor's son was in that Sunday school class. He walked up to me and he said, you are who that word was for. He said, I want you to come to my office. I want to talk to you. So I went back to his office and began to talk to him. And he told me that if I wanted to stay in New Orleans, that they would pray for me and help me. If I wanted to go home, they would continue to hang on to me and pray for me. About that time, I started to hear this banging on the door and on the wall outside his office. And what I found out later was the singer of our band came to the church service and tried to get me out of the service. But I was in the pastor's office. And the security, now I know we've had a lot of persecution because of security, but the security in that church would not let that man come into his office, and they actually threw him off the property. So I'm thankful for the security. And so anyway, time went on, and as I said, I ended up in Oklahoma, and I got accepted in the Bible school there, and that's where I met Sam and Jane Whaley, who have been parents to me, who have been friends to me, who have been just people that have cared about me and loved me. And let me just say this, there's about 500 people or so in our church now, and they know every person. They care about every person. They help every person. It doesn't matter what your situation is. They will help you, communicate with you, fellowship with you, cry with you, laugh with you. It doesn't matter. They are here with us. They know their sheep. And through all this, then I started to work with them after I got out of Bible school, and for 1 year in Tulsa, and then we moved here in 1985. I've been here for 33 years. I suppose if you have a question about the church, you can ask me, because I can tell you they're a bunch of lies. And I started working in the prison ministry about a year after we got here, and that's a very interesting story. Perhaps I'll come back sometime and share that with you, but that was a very powerful day, the first day that I went to the prison, and God really came. And I also help in the hospital with people, just anything that needs to have some help in. I'm always available to help everybody. And but when we moved here, I want to put this in too, the phone started to ring off the hook. People calling from all over the world, really, not just the United States and different states, but all over the world, calling for help because their lives were messed. They said, we've been everywhere. We've been to clinics, we've been to churches, we've been to counselors, but nothing's changed. Can you help us? And people began to come. And just like myself, I had a bad problem with self-abuse, with self-hatred, with drugs, and all that whole lifestyle. And God helped me, and God will help you. And people came, and we started to get persecuted for that. You know, but the Bible says, if you live godly, you will be persecuted. And we here, Sam and Jane they have poured their hearts and lives out to teach us the scriptures how that we might live godly and holy lives. And that's what the Bible is asking us to do. That's what Jesus is asking us to do, is to follow him and live a godly and a holy life. So we've been very persecuted, but I tell you, it's only made us stronger. We that are here, we want to help the people, and the sad thing is that the devil has used the lies about our our church to keep people in our county that are hurting, that want help, from coming. So I'm here today to tell you, along with Mark and DeWitt, what you've heard on in the newspapers and all the gossips around the community. They're lying. They're not telling the truth. They don't know the truth. Most of the people that are telling the lies have never even been to the church, let alone, you know what I mean, know anybody there. They just go by what stories they hear, and they're not true. I am so happy to be here. This is my home. This is my life. I enjoy getting up in the morning and not knowing what I'm going to do, and then finding out I'm going to help this person or go there or do this or do that. It's been great. So I'm just thrilled.
And Douglas, you mentioned that you traveled with this band. How many years did you do this lifestyle of just traveling around with the band, if you remember?
I started, when I was a senior in high school, I started to play in the band. When I graduated, we started to travel, and then I played in the band, several bands, but until I got drafted. And when I got drafted, I went to Vietnam. When I came back from Vietnam, I continued to play music, and I quit in about 1980. So I started about 1965 and quit about 1980.
Okay, and when you were in that lifestyle, were you mentioned you were involved with drugs.
Yes.
Was that through pretty much the whole time that you were in the band traveling?
Yes, even before I was in the band. I mean, that lifestyle, once you get in that lifestyle, it is a terrible lifestyle. I mean, what you see when you see these people on TV and in videos is not the truth. They're troubled people, and you can just read the record of how many have died in overdoses, and they have broken homes. Just their lives are a mess.
And you were sharing about this time when you were involved with the band, and then you go to this church. What led you to this church? Did something happen to you that made you want to all of a sudden stop traveling in the band and go to this church one Sunday morning?
Yes, my mother was, as I said, was a praying mother, and she was walking the floor herself one night, and she just said, "Jesus, I can't take this anymore. I give Douglas to you. You deal with him." And so I was in New Orleans at the time, and I was one night, a few days later, I was in bed at night, and I was rolling back and forth across this big bed. I was just rolling and rolling, and the covers were everywhere, and I said, okay, I'll preach. And I don't know why I even said that. But then a few days later, I talked to my mother, and she said, there's a church you can go to down there, and you go there and see what happens. And that's what got me to that church. And through that, I quit the band. After that was Sunday. I quit the band that night and came home the next day.
And you have a wonderful wife, Ann. And when did you meet Ann?
I met Ann when I first got to Tulsa. I saw her one day, and the Lord just spoke to me. I don't know how He does that, but you just know. I mean, it wasn't an audible voice, but it was audible to me. And He said, "That's your wife right there." And when we got to know each other, and she was the one that actually introduced me to Jane. She was going to had seen her in some services, and was going to her house for prayer meetings, and then I was working the afternoon shift, but when I could, I would go, and it was the greatest thing that ever happened. I mean, honestly, it was the greatest thing that ever happened. For the first time in my life, I was happy, I was joyful, it was just great.
And if you're around Douglas at all, you know that he is one happy guy. I have the pleasure to go to prison ministry with him. At one time, our church had 6 prisons that these two men I'm sitting with were involved in charge of. Maximum security, juvenile prison, minimum security, county jail. These guys have been very, very busy ministering to all these people. And if you ever go to prison with Douglas and DeWitt, Douglas, sometimes it seems to me like he literally has like helicopter propellers on him, and he's just kind of just leaps around the room. This guy is so excited about what Jesus has done. And, you know, the inmates, they just love it. They respond because they see that Jesus is real. You know, Jesus is alive, and He is real today. And Douglas and DeWitt, they know that firsthand because they've they've met Jesus. So we're going to turn now to DeWitt. DeWitt is another amazing person. Frankly, I don't know of anybody who has a testimony like his. The first time I met DeWitt and heard his story, I thought that I have never heard anybody like DeWitt. DeWitt came to our church about 13 years ago from the coastal area of South Carolina, and he was really desperate for Jesus at that time in his life. He had a life that was going downhill very fast, and involved with drugs, involved with alcohol, involved with a lot of other things that were very bad in his life. And so he was actually desperate for help, and God brought him to our church 13 years ago, and we have witnessed an absolute miracle with this man. Of course, he, with Douglas, does the prison ministry, the hospital ministry, along with our Pastor Sam. Actually, DeWitt and our Pastor Sam spent a lot of time together, and I know DeWitt looks at our Pastor Sam as his dad and calls him that because they're very close. You see them together all the time. And so what's amazing is that when God brought DeWitt here, his life just totally transformed, and then his mother, who was living in South Carolina, was watching her son before her very eyes transform. And so she ends up coming to our church here, Word of Faith, and she moves, and her life has been transformed, and his mom is really precious. Her name's Ann, and just a wonderful lady, and so her life has changed, and she actually has been very involved with missions and ended up doing missionary work in the church that we have affiliated with in Africa. They have a Christian school there, and so she spent a lot of time there. So we have just been so excited to see what God's doing in DeWitt's life. And so DeWitt, what started you? I know that you've had a former life of just drug abuse, alcohol abuse, everything you could imagine. What started this?
Back in, good morning to everyone. Back in 1981, me and my two brothers were on the way to the hospital to see my mom, who was in the hospital. We worked all day on the farm that day, went home, took a shower, got ready, went to Florence to see my mom. And on the way back, we were driving back home, and I reached down to get a cassette out of the floorboard that dropped, and then ran off the road, hit a large tree, and my two brothers were killed instantly. They were 13 and 14 at the time. I was 16 going on 17. Several hours before somebody found us, and then being in the hospital several months, both legs broken, fingers that were messed up, just had 3 or 4 months of, maybe more than that, I don't recall the exact amount, of rehab and physical therapy and learning to walk again. But I can remember after a few days me waking up, and first thing I asked for was where were my brothers, and they told me they had passed. And I know at that moment I cut God off completely. And for the next 25 years, my life consisted of alcohol. Started off with pills, ended up with a needle and a syringe, and started off with Percocet, Percodan, ended up with Oxycontin. You hear about it in the news. Dilaudid. Had a nurse that was putting a PICC line in my arm every Thursday, and I was still going to work and functioning at one point. But in the end, I got to the point where I wasn't functioning at all, and my life was just chaos, depression, every bad thing that you can imagine. And my dad was an alcoholic. My mom had gone to Al-Anon and started a couple of Al-Anon groups, so I've been involved in AA. And I had bouts of a time that went by that I was sober, but I never could stop mourning the drugs and the alcohol and the lifestyle that went with that. And last time my mom got me out of a county jail, which she did several times, she told me that I needed to consider getting some help. That at that time, when she got me out that day, she said something that really weighed on me. She said for the first time in 20 years, she was able to sleep that night or the subsequent nights when I was in jail, because she wasn't expecting a phone call that I had been killed or somebody had killed me. And, that showed me that my sin and my lifestyle affected other people. When you're using and doing those things, you think it's just you, but it affects a lot of people in your life. So me getting help, went to Teen Challenge and talked to them, but I had to give up smoking. I smoked about 2 or 3 packs a day, used a lot of alcohol. And in the meantime, my mom had a friend that was in the car business in Florence, retired, and he subsequently knew Sam and Jane and had sent 1 or 2 people up here to get help through the years. And she told me she'd contacted them. And that July 4th, Douglas and Sam came down to the beach, and I remember the day vividly. I had 200 allotted at the pharmacy waiting to pick them up. Was an absolute mess, smoking 1 cigarette after the other, wondering what was going to happen, but I knew my life was a absolute mess. I had 7 friends that had OD'd. I'd lost 4 or 5 friends that had committed suicide. A dear friend that was a Vietnam vet like Douglas that I went to pick up one morning, he killed himself. I knew that I was at the end of the road. Sam and Douglas came, talked to me for about an hour, laid everything out before me, and basically asked me, think about it. I said, I'm ready to go. And I got in the car with them. Before I got in the car, I had a carton of cigarettes, talking about the cigarettes. And just had a little bag. Only thing I had, I'd been through lots of money, had a home on a 150-acre farm. I'd lost all that. Lots of businesses through the years, but had a small bag and had a carton of cigarettes under my arm. And, Sam said, you won't need those anymore, and threw them back in the condo to my mom. And to this day, I've never smoked another cigarette. I mean, that is the delivering power of God. Came here, and I actually moved in with Douglas. And Douglas was going back and forth to the ministries. He'd always go to Morganton on Mondays and come back at Monday night. And he'd sit down and eat a late dinner and talk about the guys that he talked to in the prison.
This was a Morganton prison?
Yeah.
Is that right?
It was Foothills. And, it put a desire in me after a while to get involved in the prison. And after doing it several times, I began to realize that's what God had called me to do. And this was what I was supposed to be doing. After the car wreck, my grandmother ended up committing suicide. She had rheumatoid arthritis for years and years and years.
How old, when you're talking about the car wreck where your 2 brothers died, how old were you in that car wreck?
16.
And how old were your brothers?
13 and 14.
Okay.
And grandmother committed suicide. We went through that. And then in 1987, my grandfather, who basically was a gentleman that adopted my dad. My dad's dad died he got electrocuted when he was really young. And my grandfather, 1987, I'd been out drinking all night, got somebody knocking on my door about 5:30 and said my grandfather's house was on fire. He actually was burned up in the house, buried. 89, some rumors start, and they end up exhuming his body, and they missed in the first autopsy 2 bullets. And my dad and his business partner were charged and arraigned for conspiring to have my grandfather killed. At that point, my life just seemed to steamroll down the hill. Everything that I was involved in was going south and not going anywhere.
At that time, were you involved with your dad in business?
Yes.
Okay.
Very involved with him. We had several corporations. The court system was several years before they got, they were found guilty of conspiracy, solicitation, accessory. They appealed it. My dad stayed out on $1 million bond for almost 2 more years. On a Saturday, we get a fax from the Supreme Court that my dad, appeals court, that he'd been found guilty of those charges, and they added 1 more. His business partner got off completely, and they ordered a new trial for him. My dad left the country, ended up being on the 10 most wanted. Went to a place called Tobago in the West Indies. he subsequently came back to the States. We were buying a lot of tax sale properties, and he came back and ended up being picked up in Knoxville, Tennessee, coming off of a golf course.
By the feds?
Yeah,
okay.
By the FBI. He came back. They added a 10-year sentence to the one he already had, which was life plus 20. And our relationship began to get worse. He was liquidating everything he could get his hands on for more attorneys. And at some point I said, this is ridiculous. We just burned through everything we possibly got. And at that point, our relationship got really bad. And he conspired with my uncle to have the business partner that lived and myself and 2 other people killed. And the FBI came to me and warned me what was going on. At that point, my drug use was so bad, I refused to go in, custody with the FBI. My mom and me, our relationship, like you said earlier, she now is here and she lives with me and my wife. Our relationship was not good at all then. And, that's something else God has restored through the years, is my relationship with her. God's done so much for me. I was a farm boy in South Carolina and never could imagine me being a preacher or going to prisons and helping other guys. That's the furthest thing. I thought when I got here, I'd been to several rehabs and programs, and I thought there was something they were going to put on a piece of paper for me to do that would transform my life. And God does that every day. I mean, my life is continually transformed. And like Douglas, I love what we do. We never know what we're doing. There's very few days we plan something. God just puts it in our heart and we go do it. And the prison ministry is what we're called to do, no question about it.
And through the course of this, you met your wife, Andrea.
Sure did.
Tell a little bit about that.
Andrea was from Dallas, Texas, and after being here maybe a year or so, we became friends, and she's been very instrumental in my life for the last 12, 13 years. Just a big asset. Keeps me out of the ditch and keeps me going the right way.
Tell us, you mentioned that you started using drugs, and it started with the pain medication, then you got out of the hospital and things got worse. How long did you have this lifestyle of using drugs, using alcohol, doing all these things? How long did that go on in your life?
26, 27 years.
And would you tell, there's people listening out there that I'm sure have family members maybe that have had struggles with substance abuse and drugs and so forth. So when Sam or Pastor came and picked you up that day, and Douglas picked you up, and you came to the Word of Faith Fellowship, I've been here ever since then.
Right.
Tell about how things, we just have a minute left. Tell the things that God did in your heart and how God helped you to walk free from that whole entire lifestyle that you had before.
It was a lot of it was prayer. When I got here, I was using up to the point that I walked in the door here. The cigarettes, amazingly, I'd always had a battle with the cigarettes, and I could quit for a year or two, but somehow or another I'd always go back to it. God's delivering power just absolutely took the desire from me. Never smoked again, never drank again. It's amazing what prayer and friends and people that love you that you can call in the middle of the night. And I had a whole array of friends, 20, 30, 40, 50 people I could call at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I used every one of them when I first got here because, there is a desire to go back, and you question, what you're doing, and the devil comes. But like Douglas said earlier, and you've said, through the last couple of weeks, there's one way is God's way, and the devil has his plan also. And God's way is just 1,000 times better than the devil's way.
And you have just heard the wonderful power of God with the two men I have with me here, Douglas and DeWitt. And DeWitt was just sharing about the path that God has for all our lives. In John 10:10, it's very clear. Jesus said that he came to give us life and life abundantly. And we also know that the devil has come to steal, kill, and destroy. And so we all have these plans. I'm so thankful that both of these men who were going down the devil's path have turned their hearts and have found the wonderful path that God has for them. You know, one thing that Douglas said was that these lies that have come against our church have really hindered people from coming to our church and getting help that you just heard about from Douglas DeWitt, and they've seen many men come even from out of prison that come to our church, and we have members of our church that have come out of prison. Their lives are transformed. They're doing great, married, have great jobs. And a lot of these lies that you've heard in the media, really the purpose is the devil does not want people coming to places where people can get help. And so we want you to know, listeners, that you know, our church is wide open. There is a lie out there that people you can't come to Word of Faith Fellowship unless you're invited, or there's all kinds of lies about that. But that's not true. We welcome everybody, anybody who wants to worship with us, anybody who wants to serve God with us. We welcome you to come to church with us. Obviously, you know, if you're wanting to come to attack us and mock us, you're not welcome. We've had many years of that. Sad to say, we've had people who have come and actually, you know, vandalized our church and sped around our church screaming and so forth, and even a drive-by shooting. So obviously none of that's welcome. But we do welcome people who want to worship with us. We have many visitors come every week. And so we're wrapped up now. Thank you again for tuning in. Go to our website, wordoffaithfellowship.org, to learn more about our church. Thank you.
News confirming that Special Counsel Robert Mueller does want to interview President Trump about the firings of FBI Director James Comey and National Security Advisor Michael Flynn as a part of the Russia investigation. Also confirmation that several key members of the Trump administration and James Comey himself have already been interviewed by the Mueller team. A final day of impact statement.